How are you?
Okay. I guess no one's coming.
No one's coming? Okay. Then it'll be quick.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
So that's get the lifetime benefit. We just voted on.
All right, so we'll call the meeting to order. Does anybody want to take action on approval of the minutes for the February 15th, March 6th?
I'll motion that.
Second. Oh, yeah, the only other one.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah, second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public comment, and let's see, public here. So new business. So we did get some documents from Sourcewell that we sent off to the auditors. They recommended that we review all the bid documents. I guess, in other words, Sourcewell, which we can get online. So what they sent out and what they received back, and as long as the town attorney approves the contract, they don't have an issue with it. So as far as going down this path. Blue Scope, Gary Callie from Blue Scope is going to be here today. They had a conflict to answer any questions, but I had a talk with him the other day on Tuesday. And basically, because the question came up about what would we, if we went through the design process and we decided to go a different path, what would we end up with? Basically, they said that all their stuff would be proprietary. And we wouldn't get any, they wouldn't give us the documents because their construction methods might not be the same as other contractors. And we probably wouldn't be able to use those documents about the bid. We'd have to modify. I really don't see an issue. The town has dealt with Munger quite a bit, and actually Munger is our on-call maintenance contractor for projects that are over the head of the custodial staff. So I don't foresee us really having an issue having any problems. That's what I found out for the last week.
Yeah, I mean, I was in on that call with you too. I have the same feelings. They said the only one time where they had the issue with someone not wanting to continue on was when the budgets were way out of whack.
Yeah.
And I think that would obviously be an issue for us too. And they know our budget going into it. So hopefully we don't even get to that. But I mean, the budget's way out of whack. We're going to have to reorganize and change things around anyway. So that.
Yeah, I mean, I think going with them is just going to be kind of talk about. It's just straightforward. Get them design it. It's going to be a simple outside during their design, and before we get into like complicated electrical plumbing and all that, start figuring out some numbers that on that aspect of like we were talking about foundation, exterior envelope.
Jeff and Brad, does that sound, status quo for the industry on how that works and like the way we're thinking about it and going with it?
Jeff, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Yes, I was muted. I think, yeah, I think, with the permission of the town to get them on board, we can start, as I had mentioned at the last meeting, going through the questions that were presented and try to posture ourselves to get to a program, a scope, as we call it in simple terms, and some level of conceptual drawing and some level of budget update to determine next steps. And I think it gets us there the quickest, as I again mentioned at the last meeting, with this option.
I mean, really, at this point, we just say we're committing to it.
So I guess
next step.
So I guess we probably should add in there that I guess once the town attorney reviews documents.
I would just add that I think, lack of a better term, we're holding a scope review with Blue Scope. We're asking them to discuss with us and confirm the process following approval by the town of Madison. And within that, we're going through the RFI list that's already been developed to some level and deciding how do we get to sufficient answers on all of those as soon as possible, because I think they influence time, scope, and money. But I think, following, I guess, your legal counsel's review of the contract information, the pricing information, we need to have like a scope meeting, lack of a better term, a blue scope.
Yeah, so I think we have to, go to the Board of Selectmen meeting to recommend that we go with blue scope before we sit down and start having these conversations.
Right.
Board of Selectmen have to approve that. So in the meantime, I guess we can get whatever documentation they have online was used to bid. Have our town attorney look at it quickly and get on the agenda for the next Board of Selectmen meeting, which is 20.
Yeah, I'd like to get our eyes on some of that too, just to understand how the pricing mechanism works for them. Again, there should be a series of pricing list of what these bids are based on, and I would imagine those unit price and cost are being transferred to the first budget that they give you, based on the programmatic, efforts that we had gone through after we hire them. And just try to get a feeling for that, Brad, on our side. And
Yeah, so I know that they have, so you can get all that stuff right on Sourcewell's website.
right.
Get what they sent out, and get the, guess their RFQs or RFPs, whatever are there, and then whatever contracts get back.
And I would potentially reach out. We can do this unless you object, to Lynn Sadowski at North Haven, and just ask her if we could see these proposals and how they look, how they're structured, and that may help us on the construction side to help guide you a little bit more on what they provide.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that.
Yeah, that's good.
I guess today we could, make a motion to vote with them, pending the Board of Selectmen's approval,
Yeah, it's our recommendation.
right, it's our recommendation.
That way we can get them in here quickly after that Board of Selectmen meeting, and they approve it, to have that scope of work.
And then in the meantime, we can get the documents and try to get our town council to review them, so that we're in line with what the orders are.
Are we wanting to reach out to John Matthews to get the drawings that we have? The old ones? We have the cat.
We don't have a cap.
I was thinking the cat house. Because Munger's probably gonna have to do a whole drawing, come measure.
Nope.
That'll be a better idea.
Hang on. Sorry, Jim. It should be,
Yeah, what you're saying, Munger, scope would be like let's say 8 weeks out. To have
Done
like,
with design.
once the scope of, once approvals in that first scope, that's why I think getting that first meeting with them, just to
Yeah.
talk about the scope.
yeah,
That way it's now completely in their hands. We're really just-
Yep.
And we got to understand what that value is, right? What are they going to be charging to get to, some level of scope and program and budget? Which goes back to our original attempt to try to get, breakdowns by SD, DD, CD, right?
yeah, and he indicated that they don't really charge as much for design. And that's why more of the stuff is more proprietary.
Okay.
Their fees for the design part aren't. It's not like if you hired an architect, you would be paying the same rate. Because they're doing the whole project. They make up their money doing the construction.
With the ability to have some of that in-house is where they're economizing that versus hiring a separate architect.
Yeah. Anything else? Jimmy, do you have any questions? Sorry about not seeing you there. Trying to get it.
I'll make the motion to go forward with Sourcewell pending approval or something.
Second.
All right, any other questions? Jim, I see you're off mute. You now, you got any questions before we vote?
Yeah, no, I'm good, Sam.
Okay, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. So we'll, get the documents, we're gonna toward town council and try to get this on the agenda for the 25th.
That's 25th is for second.
Yes.
So should we preliminary? I mean, I don't know how to the town are able to call them and be like, hey, if it approves, can we set a meeting for
Later that week.
later that week? Because that's Monday.
Is that a morning meeting? Sir?
No, tonight.
It's a night meeting.
Do that Thursday, the 28th. Just to put it in their hands as fast as possible. And then obviously they take their time, but they can't do anything until we have that meeting, so.
You could.
You can just set that up. When do you talk with them? You just let us know.
Jeff, when do you think you'll be able to reach out to Lynn?
No later than tomorrow.
Okay. Because then we could get, so the next week we'll just have an idea. How that's gonna work, make sure you guys are comfortable with it. And then we'll get, like I said, we'll get the other documents to the town council. So we have everything in order for the meeting on Monday night. But I have, let's see, Jen, Jen do packet information.
Tomorrow. But that's just to publish the agenda, the packet I can add.
We have,
It will have been vetted by the agenda.
how to put a rush in.
Oh, you put all those caveats on the Board of Selectmen too, and town attorney review.
Yeah. All right.
Fine.
All right, so I guess we have a path. Sounds good. Anything else? All
No.
right.
Nothing from us. Like Jeff said, I've got an RFI list. I know there was a couple of separate emails between Blue Scope and Munger. I've got all of those populated in a working RFI list that we can go through. And whatever we can't answer, there's other certain departments in the town, I think, that can come in and step in and answer some of these questions, so that when we do get to that meeting with Blue Scope Munger there, we'll have at least one source for all of the RFIs, a tracking mechanism, if you will, for all of the questions. So
Sounds good.
All right, nothing else, I guess we can adjourn the meeting. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay.